Everyone thinks inflation hurts borrowers. They're wrong. Here's what most people miss. When prices rise, the money you owe tomorrow becomes worth less than it is today. That telegram right here, August 1945, marks the moment this dynamic shifted into overdrive. A factory worker in Detroit borrowed $5,000 to buy a house. He didn't know it yet, but inflation was about to rewrite the terms of his debt without him signing a single new document. Fast forward to 1950, that same $5,000 debt. His wages had climbed, prices had climbed faster, but here's the asymmetry: his monthly payment stayed locked at the original amount. The bank, however, didn't anticipate what came next. They'd issued that loan expecting stable currency. Inflation wasn't their fault. It wasn't his either. But the math worked in his favor, and the lender bore the cost. This is the mechanism. When you borrow at a fixed rate and inflation rises, you're repaying with dollars that are weaker than the ones you received. The real burden of your debt shrinks. The creditor's real return shrinks with it. This dynamic has shaped lending across centuries. During the 1970s, when inflation hit double digits, fixed-rate mortgage holders found themselves in an extraordinary position. Their debt became almost quaint. But lenders learned. By the early 1980s, banks stopped issuing long-term fixed-rate debt in high-inflation environments. They adjusted terms. They demanded higher rates upfront to compensate for expected inflation. The game shifted. Borrowers who locked in pre-inflation rates, they'd won. Those who borrowed after rates adjusted, they paid the inflation premium directly. The deeper pattern: inflation doesn't erase debt equally. It favors those who borrowed at fixed rates before prices rose. It punishes those who borrow during or after inflation spikes, because lenders price in the expected erosion. This asymmetry has transferred enormous wealth across generations, sometimes accidentally, sometimes by design. Understanding this explains why certain eras, the post-war decades, the inflationary 1970s, produced such radically different outcomes for borrowers and lenders. It wasn't luck. It was the mathematics of currency debasement working through a fixed contract. The borrower who didn't know inflation was coming had no advantage, but the one who lived through it, they felt the benefit in their monthly payment, year after year. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for more unseen mechanics of the lending system, the patterns that shaped how we borrow, and who really wins when the rules change. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.